back. Today I'm gonna start the third week and the second day, 16th day of this challenge, and let's start it together. Okay, so that day I decided to make some butter, some homemade butter, and I already had some milk cream, frozen in my fridge for a few weeks. But I didn't know that it was gonna take a long time for me to complete the process, and I think it almost took me more than half an hour. But I was still satisfied at the end because I like the things, homemade things, and they taste very different from the store frozen things. But yeah, sometimes you're not that much productive, so you just buy them. But sometimes, if you can do, it's better to do it homemade. Okay, so here I used the machine. Also, I did it with my hands, beat the beating thing, and because sometimes it's better to do it with your hands. You know the how much it's getting thicker, and you can see how long it's still gonna take. Because when it thickens and leaves leaves the water aside, so that means it's in the final stages now. And as you can see that after doing a lot of beating and using my machine twice, I was getting it to the point where it was getting all crumbly and stuff. So that means we're almost at the end of the process, and soon I started seeing the buttermilk getting separated from the butter, and that was a good sign. So but it took a lot of time to take the butter out of it. And there was a lot of storing in it, and I just did it as long as it took. I don't know, maybe an hour or something. It was a long process, but when it was ready, it was so creamy and so smooth. Like, I think I made the best butter I have ever made till yet. I don't make it often, so when I make it, I really love it. Okay, so it was actually before the breakfast, so I was actually thinking of making my breakfast with the butter. So it took a lot of time, but then when it was almost ready, my kids woke up, and then I rushed to make the breakfast for them, and I decided to keep the buttermilk as well, so I can use it later in some of my recipe, or maybe a brownie or something. Okay, so then you can see that I put some on my toast, and it was so smooth and so silky. I liked it so much. The texture was so good. Okay, then I cleaned up the space and put some buttermilk that was left in a jar in the fridge, and you can see that I made the pancakes ready, and butter made it 10 times yummier. It was so tasty. Okay, so after being done with my breakfast, I made some lunch, and after all this process, my kitchen was a total mess. And then I decided to just first clean up my kitchen, then I'll do something else. It was also nap time for the kids, so I cleaned up the kitchen, and then I lay down for a while and took some rest. This is the best part of the day, when your kitchen is squeaky clean, because rest of the day it's gonna get messier. You can never keep your kitchen clean for a whole day. You have to go again and again to cook something, and then it's a mess again, or maybe someone else have to cook. Okay, so later that day I just sat down and watched the evening sun go down, and it was pretty as usual. I'm also going on a walk every other day. So after it got dark, and finally people were out walking, then I went out with my kids and had some walk. Also, it's Eid coming, so people are out mostly. Then the other day I got mangoes in this season for the first time, and I wanted to make something different with it. Although I ended up making something very very different that I don't even want to make it again. So I saw this recipe the other day, and it was with mangoes and bananas and some cream and stuff. So I decided to make it today. Mostly these days my time is going into making food, and to be honest, I was avoiding making much food. I just made the compulsory breakfast, dinner, and stuff, but I avoided making the other things because I don't know, I was just so much disappointed and depressed that I wanted to avoid as many things as possible. And my in-laws plays a very good role in that, because when I lived with them, I tried my best to do anything I could. Like, I was doing my best, I was stretching my limits. But what happened at the end? They told my husband some things that I would never even imagine. Like, they said that her shower taking timing is off, she seems fishy, I think she do black magic or something, and some very weird stuff. Like, I cannot even imagine.
What?
about me. Like I was just a 19-year-old trying to make my family strong and make bonding with the new family and stuff, but I don't know how do they do that and why they wanted to just make things worse for me. So in the end, I was very very attached to them because I have these attachment issues given for my father, as he never showed love and I was always running behind him. I was always telling everyone that I love my father, and he was like, I don't even consider her a daughter. So that's why I was just getting attached to anyone who showed me a little bit of affection or fake love or something. So I kind of got attached to them, but then I realized that none of them gives a shit about me and they actually talk shit behind my back. So I have to step back, and now I'm trying very hard to convince myself that I don't need to care for everyone because nobody cares about me. So I spend the festivals alone, so I don't think anyone deserves anything now.
This is tough.
Okay, so that day I also, on day 17th, I went on a walk after cleaning up my kitchen, and you can see that I'm trying to, do the, get better with my basic stuff first, then I can do something extra. Okay, so on day 18th, I actually did something for myself. Like I have this habit of writing diary from like when I was in 6th grade, and I leave it for like years in between, like the very traumatic years, and then I'm trying to start it back now and do the little hobbies I used to love. You can see this is my sketchbook from like when I was in 9th or 10th grade, and I was actually pretty good at making sketches. It's not even 10% of what I used to make, and all of my other drawings are now gone because when we came from our father's house, much of our stuff were left over there and they refused to give it to us. Okay, so these are some of my diaries from like when I was in my college, and I used to write the diaries that my close ones gave me. Like one diary, this one is given by my brother-in-law, and when I first met him and I first got to know about him, so I have kept it till this day, and I used to write it a lot, but then I took a lot of pages out of it, the pages that were written starting of college days, and I took it out because I thought that I don't know, those were the best days or the good days, you can say, but I took it out because I thought did it for the sake of my now husband, because I thought some things might disturb him, but I don't think that this was a good decision though. I really would love to, read back the days that I used to cherish, but as my memory is not that much good right now. Like I struggle to remember stuff very much, like the basic ones. I struggle a lot to remember what I used to do when I was at my father's house. What do I used to do in the initial days? Like a lot of stuff is missing from my memory because of the intense trauma and the depression phase I had to go through. And the other diary is given by my favorite teachers back in the days, but I have lost the key, so I'm gonna figure out how to open it now. Okay, so this is the diary my best friend gave me, who used to be my best friend in the college days, you can say, and we were so close, but then I had this extreme trust issue that's that I could not be special to someone, so I kept on doubting that she actually considers me as a friend, and this made things worse, and eventually we broke up, and now she have another very very close best friend. She's the type of girl that keeps only one best friend for whole life, and I was just a person who thinks that nobody's gonna stay with me or love me when they find out about the stuff I have to go through. Okay, so later that day the weather got so nice, and this is the weather I crave for mostly, and the wind was heavenly. I loved it and enjoyed it so much, and I actually wrote a lot of pages in my diary that day, and it was a good day. Okay, so that was it for this video. Let's meet you in another one, but till then, take care, and it will be better if you stick around.